Who said you can't go home? Real Estate Exposed, brought to you by Signature Real Estate. Real Estate Exposed is all about helping homeowners and those who would like to be homeowners and those who would like to get into real estate.
Welcome to Real Estate Exposed. I'm Brandon Roberts, along with Shelly Panzarella, and special guest today, Lizette Sosa.
Yeah.
We're going to get to why she's here and all the achievements she has, but she's also a top producing realtor here at Signature Real Estate.
She is.
So, well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
And
What
good
time do
night.
we go on the air?
He
I
loves
think it's
to
still
throw
in
us
the
off.
morning, right?
Yes.
So, all right. Well, as we were going through this week, looking for things to talk about before we jump into our special guest, although you can pipe in and
At any
your
time.
opinions on anything we talk about beforehand, before we put you on the hot seat.
Fair enough.
But there was an article or a thing that came out that talked about the highest rated averages for Uber drivers in different cities and the lowest rated cities. And Vegas made the list. Would you guess on the highest rated or the lowest rated? Are the drivers
do you
good
think
here or
was it?
bad here?
Oh, the drivers or the patrons?
It's the drivers.
Drivers. Go ahead, Lizette.
No,
what do you
no, you're right. It's the rider.
It's the
Yeah.
rider.
Are the riders here good or are they bad?
Are they 5-star or 1-star?
Oh, you know what? I think that, you know what? Because we're actually in that whole tipping side, I think we're on the high side. I think we're closer to the 5.
Oh,
We are. We're number
gonna
9.
9?
Yep. Number 1 rated was San Antonio. Number
Wow.
2, St. Louis. Number 3, Nashville. And my hometown, Salt Lake, was number 4.
I thought we'd be on the low end side just because a lot of people come out of the
And they're drunk and throw up in the car?
nightclubs and the yes, because we have the dollar steak and eggs here for a reason.
Is that still here?
I mean, it's probably $1.99 due to
Yeah, it's
inflation.
a little bit more than that. Inflation. Inflation nation.
It
All
might
right,
be-
so what would be the lowest city?
I mean, if it was, I thought
take a
it was
guess.
Vegas. New York.
I'm with you, New York.
Bingo. New York, followed by Seattle, Washington,
Seattle.
D.C., Boston, Minneapolis. I knew Minneapolis would be up there. That's where Mike Rasmussen's from.
And is that based? He was slumming it this weekend, right? I heard he
Yeah, he was down-
vagabond. He was in his RV.
Yeah, he sold his condo down here, so now he lives in an RV when he visits. But he's,
Yeah.
in his defense, he isn't down here that often anymore because of the COVID and the travel stuff, going back and forth from Alaska. But
I don't know,
speaking of
there's some pretty
Uber-
intense RVs out there. I mean, just
yeah, but not his is
okay.
intense, but
Okay.
not for the right reason.
Okay.
Intense because there's got holes in the metal and
No, it's pretty insulated.
Is it
We spent a week basically in it, not quite a week, but traveling it when I went up visiting him in Alaska. So it's a good little RV, take you down, camp out while you go fishing, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine living in it full time.
Well, we'll bring him on
God
the show
bless
next just to talk about
And pictures.
his
We'll have to get him on a
experiences.
show to talk about the adventures of Mike and his
Exactly.
RV. But speaking of Uber, did you know there is actually a mini-series or a series out on Showtime called The Battle of Uber?
What?
Yeah, it's kind of the story behind it. So the first episode came out. I actually watched it. It was pretty good.
On Showtime. And so it's about the making of Uber, or is it
Kind of the battle of
Uber and
for
Lyft?
Uber, yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was founded basically in San Francisco, and the first battle was against the San Francisco transportation deal, and fighting against the cab industry and stuff like that to get there, and how he raised the money and kind of went through that. But it was pretty interesting. But one unique fact, you know what Uber's name was when they first launched?
I have no idea.
Of course not. You didn't watch the show. It was Uber Cab.
Uber cab?
Uber Cab.
Huh.
Yeah, and so if you watch the first episode, you'll find out why they dropped the cab.
And that's on
and it just
Showtime.
became Uber. Yeah.
Wow, look at Brandon Roberts dropping some tease effect
Now
in
you know
there.
what
So
I do
now
on
we
the
gotta
weekend, huh? Binge
we
watch
gotta
TV.
go check out Uber on Showtime.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So
That's awesome. So did you guys take an Uber to the awards this weekend? We talked a little bit about the awards.
no, I drove down,
You did.
but I'm wondering. I haven't taken an Uber for a long time
Really?
because it seemed to after COVID get harder to get
Yeah.
a car.
Yeah.
I don't know what the experience is now. Maybe I'll have to try it, but
Did
It
you?
was very, very difficult when I was in, I don't remember, I think it was in Kansas City, and it was one of those things of I had to catch a flight at 4 o'clock in the morning, and whereas before it was so simple, they were there, and literally I had to reserve it the night before, And then even when I got up, you weren't necessarily guaranteed that it was there. So then I was waiting and calling another one. So I figured if you had a double charge, you had a double charge, but at least you got to the airport.
Because were there no cabs at the airport then, or?
Yeah. Well, no, I was at the hotel.
I
going
got
from
you.
the hotel to the actual airport.
Yeah. Yeah, I took an Uber to the Allegiant for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Or whatever. No, Pro Bowl. All-Star was the hockey game. Pro Bowl. It was kind of funny because they have the plexiglass between the driver, and then their whole seat is like there's like a trash
Not
can.
all of them though.
No, the one that
Just
I took, which I
the
was
one
like,
you
wow,
took.
you're super sterile in here. That's great. It was really helpful.
Lysol being sprayed every 30 seconds.
Or
No,
just
that's not
prepared for the
potpourri.
what if.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I had heard that story that it's an uncertain thing right now because not every driver was really, there weren't as many drivers, and so it's hit or miss. Some would just cancel your ride in the middle. So
Yeah, crazy, huh?
yeah,
Cancel your ride when you're halfway home.
when you're sorry,
out.
you are out now.
No, but it's a great service, or it has been in the past, so maybe we'll get back up to par. But it's interesting now, though, when you do get in a car, how conscious you are of the cleanliness of the car.
Yeah.
So
And your drivers can get judged or graded, or what do you call that? Rated.
Rated.
On the cleanliness, how they drive.
You know, it's funny. I don't think all riders know that they're rated.
I did
You
not
know?
know that until you sent this
Yeah.
article, which will make me be on my best
Then you
behavior
went
the
and
next time I'm riding.
What is your rating? A 2?
I would probably say, I guess it would depend. So sometimes I'm super talkative and I'm like, this guy probably just wants me to shut up. And then there's sometimes I just don't say anything. And I'm like, like when I would drop off my car and, that's all that they would give us. They wouldn't give us a card. You'd have the Uber services. And so I live all the way in BFE. That's BC soon, but Boulder City area. And that ride's like 45 minutes from Sahara and, was it Sahara and Rainbow? So some days I'd be like really energetic and want to have a good conversation, and some days I'd just sit there and just be on my phone trying to take care of business and stuff. So
Yeah, I prefer they didn't talk to me.
You do?
Yeah.
Huh.
I just prefer to be able to be on my phone, stuff like that. Because when you're driving all the time, you can't make those calls
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And when other people are in the car, it's harder for you.
Yeah.
So I just want to be able to work and do my thing. But
Do you feel so, Lizette, when you're in the Uber?
I'm
do
a
you,
half and half.
You're half
It
and
just-
half,
Yeah,
too.
it just depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, I find that they're very hard to understand, and I'm in the back seat, and then you have this mask.
Yeah.
And then it's even worse because you think they're saying one thing, but they're saying something else, and that's really awkward when you answer, and you're like, oh, I guess that was the
You
wrong
didn't
answer.
ask me that
when
question.
you give them your phone number and they're like, no. I was on my earbud talking to my mom. Oh, crazy.
So how do we check out our rating? Do I need to read this whole thing?
I think you need to go into the app and then your
Oh.
profile. I believe it's in there.
Really?
I'm scared to look, so.
Let me just see. By the end of the show.
But
I'll let
I also heard, though, if you rate someone below a 3 or they rate you below a 3, you'll never connect again.
Ah.
Like the software will never bring that driver back to you.
What if they had
That's
that in
interesting.
like real estate? Would that be kind of a weird phenomenon?
Right.
You're like,
As your
they
car-
just wouldn't call you back ever.
As you're calling,
Maybe that's
as
why
you're
nobody
calling,
calls you
think
back.
it's your client or friend, and they're like, the phone's not working.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why they're not calling you
You're
back.
an automatic
Next
block.
time I have an agent complain that an agent's not calling them back, I'm going to go, have you checked your rating?
Let me just see.
Oh,
if there
funny,
is-
funny.
Yes.
All right, so what else we got on our list today?
So we are here. We've got Miss Lizette here. Do we want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about your weekend? Sorry, I'm really now trying to find
So-
my rating.
So while she's checking out her rating, we will talk about our weekend. So Signature, we did our annual awards gala. This year we gave out almost 170 awards.
That's awesome.
Plus that, you took home a couple great awards.
Yeah.
One for production and one for Rookie of the Year.
I did. And
And that's all you have to
Were,
say about
were
it.
you
Nice.
excited about that? Did you know? Were you prepared?
So first of all, just sitting there, all right, let me wind this back a little bit. So I always wanted to actually have the Rookie of the Year title. And last year I went ahead and I bought the purple dress that you guys saw me in.
Get out.
And it was in my closet since July, and that was just the way that I do my goals.
Really?
So
I love
it's
you.
been there, and I look at it every single day. So actually putting it on for Friday night, it was one of those things of like, okay, well, if I don't get an award, I'm okay because you know what? I did really great. My bank account's good. Life is good. Why do I feel so nervous talking to you guys right here? Breathe, so breathe.
You're nervous here?
But hearing my name for the first time in the executive club, I was like, oh, wow, okay, here's an award. At least I'm in this purple dress and I got an award.
I
Okay,
got
good.
something. I can
She's
walk
like,
up
at
there.
least.
So as the evening went on, I kind of figured that I wouldn't receive the Rookie of the Year, and which was fine because again I had an award in my hand, so I was like, okay, in my pretty purple dress. And then when I heard my name, it was kind of like that pause of, wait, was that really my name? And then of course you just guys saw all the
We saw the
excitement-
dancing, which
the
we are
excitement.
going to post with your approval. We are going to post the dance moves that you
One
did.
of the best recipient walks.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now knowing that you bought the dress and you put all that time into it, I would have felt really bad if I had screwed that one up.
We did a really good job in keeping it a hush, though, huh? That's a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Keeping
I
a
was-
secret all the way to the end.
Yeah, I was completely surprised because another thing is when we had like our last team meeting, you and Chris had gone over like the accomplishments of other people on the team and stuff and what they were doing, and as I actually listened, I was like, wow, they're kicking butt. You know, maybe I didn't step up my game high enough. So at that point, I was already, you know,
She was wondering if she could return that dress.
Lowering your, preparing
right.
yourself for the worst.
so I wasn't bawling at the table without the Rookie of the Year award, but
Aw.
I'm very honored to have that, and thank you.
Well, we're honored to have you part of
Yeah,
Signature. and
congratulations.
Congratulations on your success, and thank you for all your hard work and not getting in trouble this year.
Not getting in
There's
trouble.
always
No
issue.
complaints on her. Not one.
Yeah,
you
you-
know,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Here's
So-
the
Well, I
Thanks.
think the affirmation aspect of it was pretty cool, though, because we are pretty. I mean, I know you do a ton of affirmations every morning, and is that something that you do in your daily like routine, other than just going out and buying a purple dress? Like next year, will there be another goal that you have to buy a dress for? And
Of course.
Have you already
Yeah.
bought the dress?
Not yet.
What's the event for?
And I'll let you know in a couple months. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yes, I do affirmations. So a part of my ritual in the morning is, you know, I'll take out my notebook and I'll write down some of the things I want to accomplish and also what I'm grateful for, because I feel that's a huge thing is that if we find what we're grateful for, it's really easy to come up with your affirmations. It's really easy to actually achieve the things that you want to achieve if you find that gratefulness in your heart, even for the smallest things.
I agree. So because you're new into real estate, right? So how long
am.
had you been in the industry?
Let's see, I got my license was received here, actually issued August 13th, my birthday, of 2020. Actually, I won't say what birthday it is, so, or was. So,
Of 2020?
right.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So,
So we figure them on an 18-month period.
Yeah.
So it's
And
still
you
qualified.
attended the boot camp because Brandon's, and it's the academy, not the boot camp. Sorry, that's always. I feel like that's where we find the rookie, right? Because actually, you went to the academy,
I
and
did.
we were all like, "She's it." We all actually said that, right? As you came out of her, like, she's going to be the one that makes rookie of the year. It's how
well,
they.
you guys could let me on on that secret.
Well, you already knew.
Well,
you
you
bought
were
the dress.
It was easy to pick it out because
Yeah.
as we're going through it, you're the one doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
the exercises, making the prospecting calls, working on getting better, and then just watching your work ethic and showing up to the office on a daily basis. I think that's a big key to getting there. Not only do you have to buy a purple dress, you have to show up to work, right?
That's true. So
I'm
it's
taking
not
people
just
purple dress shopping.
exactly. All of a sudden, all the racks are gone.
I
Shelly
can't wait.
and Elizabeth.
I can't wait till the next male winner wins with the purple dress on.
Purple dress, suit and
Beta,
tie.
are you going to get your license anytime soon? This would be a good goal for you.
I'll help you out, Beta. No worries.
Ah, that's funny.
Very nice. Why did you get into real estate? Well, what did you do before?
Yeah. Good.
Well, I actually was in corporate events, so I was typically the person. I was the beta of the corporate event side. I did a lot of stage management and just dealing with executives on that side. And when the pandemic came along, of course, we all know live corporate events disappeared. And because of the schedule of doing those events, lots of times I would work 10 days and I'd be off for 30 days. And we all know when you're off for 30 days, you spend a lot of money. You know,
Wow.
so,
How fun would that be,
so
though?
so my whole thing was actually figuring out what is it that I could do along with my corporate events to be able to supplement instead of spending money like starting to build. And from that point, I was like, well, let me do real estate because it would work. And I hesitated in doing it. And then when the pandemic came in, I was like, oh, look, I have some free time. Let me do this. It was a little bit of a challenge because with the pandemic, I went through class like in 2.5 weeks. But it was getting my testing. And here in Vegas, like all of the testing sites were shut down.
Yeah.
So I drove to California just to take my
Really?
test. Oh, yeah.
What were they doing during the time to get tests?
They weren't testing.
So I know there was a switchover of companies doing it. Plus, then there was a delay on the time of doing it. A lot of people were having to drive to California or Utah, but there was a long wait even to get into the testing center. So it was quite a process for people to
Didn't
become
realize that.
licensed during that period of time.
Yeah.
So you drove down and passed on your first attempt?
Yep.
Awesome. And then what, the test actually comes back to Vegas to get all the licensing and stuff?
Well, they give you
Or is it
your,
an actual
they give you
test?
your test scores right there.
Oh, okay.
So then you just have that, and then you just
Turn it in.
submit. So.
So can I ask why, like what made you pick Signature? Because this was your first place, right?
And be careful on how you answer.
I know.
this.
I mean, just to warn you.
We can still take that
Co-founder,
award.
owner, broker, LDR
My
president.
Rookie of the Year award might be taken away.
Your awards are on the
Like,
line.
how did you pick Signature?
I actually, well, I interviewed with a few brokers, and I have a best friend who had worked with Chris Bishop at another broker, and so, she was like, you should go and meet with him. And I was like, okay. So I went and I sat with Chris and I met with him, and I'm the type of person that actually goes on feel. Like when I walk into an office or I walk into a place, if it gives me a good feel, if it gives me that point of like, you know what, this is home. Like this could be home. I could build here. That's one thing. And then when you talk to the individuals, and then that's that connection, that made it even better. So, I think I sat with Chris for like probably a half hour, and we went questions back and forth, and I left. And when I decided that I would, join Signature, I did turn to Chris and I said, look, here's the deal. If I come to Signature, you're my mentor. And that was, and that was it. And he said, okay, I'll do it. And that's
You had
where
to twist his
I
arm,
didn't
I'm
want to
sure.
just come in. I didn't want to come in and not have somebody that would guide me.
Yeah.
If you guide me, if you tell me what to do, I've got it. I have my own brain, yes, but that was a big thing.
Well, I want to thank you for making Chris look good on his mentorship.
I was just going to say, so what we're saying
Yeah, I'll
here
ask
is
him for that cut
Chris's
later.
head just got 10 times larger. He won't be able to come into the office.
we want to tell him you want to listen to this show.
Exactly. That's sweet. And so you're on the team, right?
I am.
Yeah. So
I
from
am.
day one, you've been on the Bishop Roberts team.
I
right?
have.
And he's been leading you. He has led you to the success of the Rookie of the Year, or was it the Academy that helped you?
I had him at the academy.
Here we go. Put me on the spot.
No, you know what?
Shelley,
I'm going to tell you what. It having good people around you and the
Yeah.
right direction is one thing, but in reality, Chris, myself, the academy, nobody could make anybody great.
Yeah.
It has to come within. So it's the ability to take the tools that you've put in front of you and to actually do it and put the work in. So you're the one that deserves all the credit for that. Yes, there's good people around that point you in the right direction, but you still had to do it because everyone else has that same opportunity,
Right.
and they don't do it. So
Thank you.
So what did you do to get to this point? Like, what was it? So you had you had Chris, mentors, you had the people around you, but what did you do? Because you had no idea about real estate before.
Well, that's...
You bought a home?
I bought a home now.
Yeah.
I actually did work for a builder back in the 90s.
Okay.
So I did everything from the receptionist, and then I went and I got my license, and I did just the relief agent. So that was my, exposure to real estate.
In Vegas or? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So so I had just that little bit, not any, real long time with it. But as far as doing anything now, one of the things that I realized for myself was, everybody told me that if I got into real estate that, it's going to take you 12 months, 18 months before you actually, can get a paycheck. And for me, I was like, wait a minute, that's not acceptable. Like, I'm used to making money every month, and not a little bit, a big chunk. And so for me, when people would say that, I'm like, yeah, whatever, And I think that's huge. So anybody that's like looking at getting into real estate, it is a challenge. Yes, you'll go, maybe a few months without having any income, but don't listen to what people are saying. Like, look deep within inside yourself. And just like you had mentioned, it's like up to us to actually make that happen. And that's where you got to dig. You have to dig, and you have to find, what is it that I'm doing this for? Why? Is it for, hey, I need to pay my car? Okay, great. I can go close a house and I can make my car payment for 3 months, whatever the case is. And those are huge. But I just didn't listen to people.
that's good because
Yep.
that is pounded into people's mind. 80% of you won't be here. You're going to fail. It's going to take forever for you to get a check. And I always say that's crazy because why would you get into an industry you can't control your income? And you truly can.
Yeah.
And one of the things we talk about in the academy is that how do you get regular paychecks? When you work a regular job, how do you get paid on a biweekly or a regular basis.
go to work, you
You
clock
go to
in.
work every
Yeah.
day, right? You go to work, you do what you're supposed to, you go home. And if you do that in real estate, you'll get regular paychecks.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of times when people come in, they get this newfound freedom and they're not disciplined. And that's why it takes them a long time to get a check till they figure it out. But if you come in, you can get business right off the bat.
Yeah, no.
So what did you jump into first? Like, what was your plan when you first said, I'm going to come into real estate? You met with Chris. Did he say, do this?
So,
Or did you just say, I'm
like-
going to do this?
you are talking about Chris.
Yeah.
Yes, he always tells you to do something. So his whole, Chris had me build my database. So basically, I went through my cell phone, and any of us at any given time, you can go through your cell phone and you can realize how many contacts are in your cell phone.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I have, I don't even know, 2,500 people. Now, whether or not those are people that I've talked to or not, there's still 2,500 people that at some point gave me their phone number. So why not reach out to them? And that's where I started my database. And I took the time to start reaching out to people while I was waiting to get tested. Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. You know,
That's awesome.
I want to make sure that this is your number. And, you know, are you still doing this? Or trying to catch up with them. And then that way, when I got my license and I made a home, I just hit the ground running. So anybody that I talked to, it was just one of those things of like, did I tell you what I was doing? Did you get the text from me? You know, and just doing that, and then just kind of keeping on. I will say I definitely could have done better. You know, looking back now, if I would have actually done a lot more than what I did.
What would that have been? Just adding more contacts to your day, or?
Oh, I really, looking back, I probably would have doubled what I did last year.
Huh.
Yeah,
If you
If
had
you
done what?
contacted more people.
absolutely.
That's really a neat story
Yeah.
there to think about it, because so many people wait till they get their license to do something. But
Yeah.
you started laying the groundwork ahead of time. And I'm going to steal that from you. And if I ever get to mentor someone, then, then I'm going to say, hey,
You
start
mentor
now.
people.
But it is because, you know, I know that we're not supposed to sell real estate before, but there's nothing that says that you can't build and let people know what you're about to do.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
and that, like planting that seed, I think that's one of the reasons why as soon as I got my license, I was able to close something within, I think, 45 days of, you know, being official.
Wow.
So I did that by accident. So before I got in real estate, I ran a restaurant, right? And one of the things I did is I was getting my license. It was inside an office building, so it was pretty much the same people every day. Built relationships with them. Was there for like 6 years, and there was a lady by the name of Gloria that come in. I told her I was getting my license. She goes, "Oh, me and my husband are going to sell our house, and I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you." And she just kept waiting. I got my license. It took me about 3.5 months. I got it because I went nights, and then within the second day of my being in business, I had her listing. Right?
Wow.
And granted, it was way overpriced, but I got my first listing, right? In fact, it still hasn't sold. But I did sell them a house down here in Vegas when I moved. They relocated down here.
That's
But
funny.
it was an interesting thing because I was telling people in the restaurant what I was doing and laying that foundation, and that helps springboard. So that's cool. And yeah, I mean, if you look at your phone, anybody, doesn't matter if you needed help with something or you were selling something or whatever, there's somebody in your phone I could almost guarantee that could help you with it.
Yeah. And during that time too, 2020s, right? Everybody was like, you even making a personal contact with somebody because so many people were, we were
Locked down.
exactly. Yeah. Shut down, lockdown. Yeah. So gave a great excuse also just to check in, just to make sure health wise they were okay and they were staying safe and sane, so to speak.
Right.
So
That's
here's
awesome.
a big question though. So are you still making the contacts?
I am. As a matter of fact, I come in every morning and I make 20 calls a day. You know, and it's interesting. Beta's like, I know, I hear her. She sits behind me. But the interesting part is I realize that as I'm making those calls, I'm getting busier. What a concept, right? And sometimes for me, I get to that point where I'm like, oh my God, there's way too many things. And then I'll start to like back off. But what I realize is if I back off, I still make the calls. I may not just do 20. I may back off to 10 just so that I can make sure that I'm making calls, but still keeping my balance okay for me to be able to work. Because for me, there's lots of times where if I get too much on my plate, then all of a sudden it's just like frozen.
Well, we met I don't know if he's, are you hiring him on as your team member or he's also your fiance? Is he your assistant? What capacity is
All
he
that
coming
good
in?
stuff.
He's your mentee.
He's everything.
He's your mentee also. So is he? Is he learning through some of the things that you put in place, but now also helping you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really interesting because we're very different, and he comes from the restaurant.
Yeah, we heard.
industry.
We had breakfast with him this morning. He was cleaning up the table. After no joke, no joke.
He
In
told
fact, the lady came in that was doing the thing. She goes, "Oh, you guys cleaned up all your own plates." No,
I thought he was going to pull out that special tool that like cleans up all the crumbs.
He was great.
I'll get you one engraved with
Okay.
your name. We have several.
Thank you.
So it's very interesting because we're very different and just how we look at things. So sometimes he'll keep me in line and ask me questions, and I'm like, really? Why are you asking me that? And then I realize that it's a different perspective and whatnot. So I'm trying to help him to get whatever he wants out of real estate. Because even though we're doing it together, obviously, I always want everybody to feel like it's theirs.
Yeah.
Not that it's me giving you something. I want you to feel that you did it.
Yeah.
And that's huge for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're showing him the way he's making 20 phone calls, or is he taking on the load of any of the extras you're not able to get to?
You know what's interesting? He's not making the 20 phone calls.
He's not?
No. I know.
Huh.
He's like,
Does he need to go get a purple dress?
I know.
Is that going to motivate him?
We did talk to him about Rookie of the Year, and now he's got some big shoes to fill. Now we'll just change it to you got a dress to fill, sir.
He'll love that.
Look, it's hot in here now.
Yes, it's
Is it the light, or is it just
It's-
because you're
no,
tired?
it's the hot seat. They actually said it's the hot seat that they
It
put
is.
me in, and it is.
Yes.
No, he's, we all have to get past that certain mindset that we're bothering somebody when we call, right? And that's probably the hugest thing. And with everybody, they're like, oh, I don't want to be that person that bothers, because we've all gotten that cold call of somebody trying to sell us something. We're like, click. And now we're that person.
Yeah.
And if you don't change your mindset behind that, then you maintain that thought process of being that nagging person, but we're not.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm calling, hey, Shelly, calling to touch base with you, see how
Yeah.
you're doing. Hey, is there anything I could do for you in real estate? Is there anybody in your family? And then you just have that conversation. It's just a conversation, and people are so fearful of it, and even I was. But now I don't get why I was fearful of it.
So let me ask you a question. When somebody cold calls you or calls you out of the blue to sell you something, how do you treat them on the phone?
I'm actually really nice. It's kind of funny.
Me too.
It is.
Are you?
Because
It depends on the day.
But there's there are times where I'm like, really? Especially when you get the Medicare one. I'm like, have you seen my birth certificate? I'm not there yet.
I always want to see how their pitch goes, right? And then at the very end, I'm like, hey, you did a really good job, but I'm really not interested. Thank you so much for the call.
Right.
Like,
Do you find
what
most
they-
of them sound like they're reading?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so to me, that's the most frustrating thing is
Yeah.
when you can tell somebody's not listening to you, they're just going through a script.
Right.
Yeah.
And bless them for going through the thing. Even when you say no, they go to the next question.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing the right thing, and ultimately, if they make enough calls, they get good at it. But I think the difference is when you're calling people and if you're coming from a place where genuinely wanting to help them, right, and you're not reading a script, even if you're working off a script, it's a different call, and I think you get a different reception. So that's why I think a lot of people are fearful of making cold calls because they listen to other people, and they don't like it. But I think it's different if you take it serious.
Right.
Yeah. So when did your call reluctance stop or slow down or?
She'll let you know.
I'm like,
Because you can jump on that phone now.
that? I would say probably towards the latter part of last year. Because even when we do it, I'm thinking.
I know, but you gotta
I
talk
know, but I
into the
got to
mic.
We still need to know what's happening.
We can't hear what you're thinking.
Oh, thank God.
Beta's over there going, come on.
We'll put
Thank
bubbles
God.
up.
I would say probably to the middle to last part of the year.
And it just became easier for you to just
Yeah.
jump on.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm also the type of person that finds out so much more about people, and I take notes. So then, like the next time you call, guess what? You have something to talk about. So, oh yeah, hey, how was your son's baseball tournament or whatever the case is? And then it makes it easy because again, you're back to conversation.
Yeah, relationship.
Where do you keep your notes?
In my CRM.
So she's so she won a prosperity award also because she's been a great partner of ours. And one of the things that she'll do, we'll do a Zoom call together. She does her nice little intro, and then I go into this pre-qualification, and she's literally in the background like a court reporter. And I'm like, did you catch that, Lizette? I got that. Got it. I got it. She's taking out all the notes. Not that she's taking any information from the pre-approval, but I know she's listening to our conversation, and she's hearing about like where their first rental was, how much the rent is, and then I'll throw in like, hey, you have kids and all this other stuff. And she is literally like on the computer typing all this stuff, and you're putting it in your CRM. I thought it was just court reporting, and it just pulls out.
Just pulls out
and play back.
You're letting all the secrets
I know,
out.
right?
All of
That's
them.
But that's
okay.
huge. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really huge because as you build that database, that's your book of business, right?
Yeah.
And so by you doing that, it's going to help you in the long run to be able to even sell these people more and more property. So is there what CRM do you use?
Well, let's see. It was Follow Up Boss, but now we're actually moving it over to Brivity.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah.
Don't you like how he gets the glare from that?
I know.
And the reason you're switching is because your team's switching
Absolutely.
softwares,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so you'll see how that goes, and if it affects your business, I think you'll be right back to Follow Up Boss very quickly.
You know what? It's from what I've seen on the switch, it'll definitely be a better situation. It's just that whole thing of change.
Yeah.
So when I went from, is it prospects in MLS?
Yeah, so
I
our
started-
board provides prospects,
Right.
which is a free service, right?
Correct. So when I started in there and then went to Follow Up Boss and did that transition, that export import deal, there were a lot of things that were lost, and then I had to go back in and like hand type them in. So it was like a time consuming thing. So that was my little reservation with like moving over to the new CRM. However, that's okay. I'll just pay an assistant to actually double check it.
There you go. Now you can. Rookie of the year.
Right?
Yeah.
Big time.
Well, so with your Follow-Up Boss or just your data management, so every conversation you have, you're inputting the conversation into your CRM, and then you task yourself, or how do you?
I do task myself. I task myself with like if it's like birthdays, anniversaries, I put those tasks. I also put them on a task for like the following month. To call them back.
Check in.
And then a lot of it just goes in the notes, whatever the conversation was, because I find it's just strong for me to be able to like look and see before I call somebody. So this year what I've tried to do is actually set it up to where everybody that is on my call list for tomorrow, I go through and look at the notes the night before so that I can get through the calls faster, because, like for 20 calls, it usually takes me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'd really like to be able to narrow that down into like an hour so that it allows me to do other things.
So your 20 calls today include some of your follow-up calls from like a week or month or so ago. They're not brand new
Correct.
clients that you're calling. When you first started, the 20 calls were all
brand new.
right? I mean, sphere of influence and things like that,
Right.
but brand new, not relation. That's awesome.
So a lot of your business came from your sphere, the people you know.
Yes.
What other methods did you use to generate business over the past year?
Good.
Gosh, I've done open houses. So that was really good. One of the things I find with open houses, though, is that you really have to continually work the people that come in. I think I only had one closing from somebody that was at an open house, and I have 2 others that hopefully this year will actually come to fruition. But those are ones that I worked on last year, and a year later, now we're looking at possibly getting that.
Put them in the pipeline and work them. Follow up with them.
Right.
Are you still doing open houses today?
I am.
Oh, yeah. What is your
On
are
my
you
own
doing-
listing. Wow.
Nice.
That's great. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your own listings. You do an open house, and then are you doing what other things are you doing for your listings or?
So for listings, we actually still doing some door knocking,
What's that?
which is good. The one of the things that I found is with the current listing that I just got through with is the windows are so short. So I think I won't say shot myself in the foot because it's actually in escrow, but I would have actually allotted myself an additional week prior to actually.
Oh, so you're saying the window of having it before it goes into escrow. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh,
how
there
do you
you
get
go.
short windows?
I was like, wait, so like
Where's
like
this house?
5'1" or like 4'7"?
I've seen short counters.
Okay.
Oh,
you guys are
from the
supposed to
time
be in
you
my
take
brain
it-
by now.
Yeah,
In my
from the
brain.
time you take it to the time it goes into escrow and closes.
Right.
Yeah, and a big thing with listing, if anyone's thinking about getting in, part of the listing and the marketing you do for listing is to generate more business, right? And so
Right.
you're losing a lot of that opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about with
Yeah.
the window. Okay.
To give yourself
The
more.
short window. Yeah.
So how did you get that listing? What?
Interesting that you asked that. So this particular client, it was also a friend from my sphere, and I had just reached out to them, and they were like, "Yeah, we just refinanced our house. We took out some money, and we're gonna go ahead and build something onto their house." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great. Well, if there's anything else I can do for you, let me know." And then I got a call back from them. They were like, "Hey, we want to go see this house." And I was like, "Okay, so let's go see this house." And so we went to see this house, and they're like, "Well, if you can find us something that fits these parameters, then maybe we'll go ahead and buy." Great. So I started searching, and I found them something within those parameters, and they went, "Okay, we'll buy it." And I'm like, "Okay, what are you going to do with your current house?" "Well, we're just going to go ahead and lease it out." "Okay, great. Do you have a property manager? Are you guys going to do that yourself?" Or, "Well, we'll think about it." And then as they actually started to go through the process, they went, "You know what? I think we're going to go ahead and sell the house." So not only did I get, the buy, I also got the list, and, and then now they're sending me to their family members. So that's a really huge deal off of just
Picking up the phone. Yeah.
And saying hi, seeing what's going on.
That's awesome. So it's not from what do they call those, farms or circle prospecting? That was actually sphere of influence. That's great. So your door knocking, the intent of door knocking is to...
Well, is to either actually get somebody to list their house, or if some people are renting, it's my responsibility or my duty to actually let them know that, hey, you know what, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Why are you not paying yours? Yeah. It's really surprising to me of how many people don't really think about that. Like, oh, I can't afford a house. Well, you're paying for one because you're living in one.
Yeah, that's so true.
Especially now, with the way rents have gone up.
Yeah.
Crazy. And not everyone believes that they can buy. Like, they don't know the process or whatever, or maybe they think they need to save for a down payment or that. But Shelley, you got grant programs, all kinds of stuff, right?
We do, yeah. It's crazy because a lot of buyers think this 20% number is like the only way that you can get into a home. I've had several clients say, "Well, I didn't think I could buy. How much is the minimum down payment?" If without the down payment assistance, it's 3 or 3.5%. And then if you can partner that with a down payment assistance, you can pretty much cover the whole down payment. Now you have to worry about closing costs, which is that 3%, but roughly 3%. But people can get in, and that's usually the same amount of money as a rental deposit. What do you need for rentals? Security deposit, first month, right, and then your next cleaning, all that stuff, which is usually about that 2.5% to 3% for closing costs. So I think that's the part. It's the education aspect of it. People are just not either hearing it or putting their head in the sand, or just hearing other people believing that, my father-in-law was the same way. You have to save up a ton of money to buy a house. But I'm in the industry. No, you don't have to save a ton of money. And we bought our first home with like 3.5% down, FHA. So. And
that was one of the things in my, within like last year, there were a lot of my friends who had kids that were like out of college, and they were renting an apartment and stuff. And I went through and started educating the parents, kind of going, "Why are you letting your kids rent?" And then you showed me the whole condo world.
Yeah. She was. I thought you were going to take Condo Queen as the award, but Rookie of the Year was much better.
See, I regret, like, Tyson went to college in St. George, and I should have bought a condo or something for him. I'd have been amazing how the prices have gone up. It would have just been a tremendous investment.
Yeah,
but whatever.
A couple things on that too, because to get in that position, so there used to be, or there is, this program called the Kitty Condo, and it's literally where the parents are buying the home for the kids so that they can purchase a home. The intent is that the kids are taking the occupancy of it in a condo, so to speak, around their school. So when they go away for college, the kids take the occupancy as primary residence, but the parents really are the ones qualifying for the home. Not everybody realizes that they can do this, nor do they see the value in that, but they're there for 4 years. They're going to pay room and board and lodging. He probably got that there's parents buying a condo for their kids.
Huge.
And you push that directly into your 2,500 contacts that you have. It's right. You're connecting, and then it's just a message that you're sharing. So super easy.
Okay, we so also can I give up the social media and do the videos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Literally, if you record that message one time, anytime you have somebody's kid's going to go to college, you'd send them that video.
That's right.
Hey, I did this a while back. I thought this might be of interest to you. You can duplicate that message over and over again.
You don't have to
can
read
post
it.
those on social media too. So
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that there was going to be a back door in there. Yeah,
But even
good.
imagine your buyer consult and some of the process that you go through. You can videotape every single one of those pieces, and as just a separate part of it where you can talk about it, you can also just say, hey, just as a reminder, I sent this video to you just in case as here's what we just went through, and it's just that video you send out, and you just have them, cataloged in your YouTube really, and then you just send them out through your CRM.
just from our podcast today, you've come up with 3 or 4 things that you could ultimately use. Even why sign a buyer agency agreement with a realtor? I mean, going
Yeah.
through that thing, what's the value to you as a client?
Yeah.
Those are all good things you could put into video form. See?
Okay, next question.
So the
Now I
other
feel like I'm getting a task list of things to do.
I'm gonna need,
She's
Beta,
like,
I'm
"This
gonna
is
need to watch
about
this when
me."
it's done, so I know what I'm committing to.
Don't worry, we're airing Friday at 1:30.
He's taking
so
notes.
Make sure you
He can help you.
stay tuned then. So the other thing they have on here is staying healthy.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically. It's huge. I spend at least 15 minutes every morning meditating, and then I also spend probably another 15 to 30 minutes exercising.
Wow.
And that's more so because that's the beginning of my day. That's the moment that's just about me.
Yeah.
I'm not taking care of anybody else. I'm not looking at a phone. I'm not doing. It's just about me, and it sets my mood, sets my day.
I
it's
would
that
agree.
anchor.
What's that?
Morning routine.
Morning routine. Yeah. I think it's funny because a lot of people talk about how they're so busy, but if you gave yourself 15 minutes in the morning, it's crazy how just that alone helps you to eliminate really that statement, you're so busy.
But you also end up, I know for me, I started out to where it was just like 15-minute windows or whatever. And then as I get busier, I wake up earlier to be able to expand that
Yep.
first hour to an hour and a half just
For
for even for reading.
Yeah.
So like, I go through, like, there's multiple things that I do in that time. So whether it's like 2 minutes for each or 15 minutes for each, but it's so grounding.
So how structured is your schedule through the entire day?
It's not super, just the first part.
Just the morning?
The
So you
first part is
get
it.
out of here at what, noon, or what time is your prospecting over? You start at 9, 11,
Usually I'm done at 11.
so you have lunch, and then and then what do you do?
I'm still here, but I'm picking up all the, doing all the cleanup, picking up pieces, figuring out what needs to go, clean up aisle 5, so we get the broom.
So isn't that called like working in your business on your business?
Yeah.
So you're working in your business when you're prospecting? Is
In
that
your
what that?
business when you're in your business when you're prospecting?
Yeah.
On your business when you're
Planning and stuff?
Yeah.
And then you got your showings, and you got your paperwork, you got everything else to stabilize your business, yeah.
Listing appointments and all that stuff. Cool. So just to wrap up the last 10, so training and skill building, and then focusing on the task, not the goal. So you do a lot of the prospecting, which I think is the task, right, and not necessarily the goal.
the purple dress is always the goal.
That's going to be the new award. It's no longer Rookie of the Year. It's the Purple Dress Award.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We even had the lights purple for you.
We
Have
did.
you noticed that?
Yeah. No, I did not. I'm kidding. Did I notice that? I didn't notice anything but like jumping around and dancing.
And dancing. We're going to air that again also. Just kidding. What else you got, Brandon?
So, a couple fun questions we ask everyone that comes on the show. Well, we try. What was your first car?
Do you really want to bring that up?
Yep.
Yeah.
As a
Not your first real estate car. Your first car.
my first one was a 72 Datsun 1200, but my next one was a 65 Lincoln Continental with suicide doors.
Nice.
Ooh.
When I was
Bet you
17.
still wish you have that one.
Huh?
Bet you still
Oh
wish you had that
God,
one.
yes, absolutely.
Wow. That's pretty cool. What color? Purple?
It was cream. Come on,
Cream.
that was a cream color.
It's like nobody even made purple then.
Very cool.
And then so we are in the Girl Scout cookie season. What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Mint.
Thin mints?
Thin
Yeah.
mints.
I think that's like
That's
the winner
it.
amongst.
Cold?
Out of
You
the
freeze 'em?
freezer.
Yep.
Out of the freezer. Gotta
Yeah.
put them in the freezer.
That's crazy. That must
Yep.
be a New York thing. Do you like them from
I
the
like 'em
freezer
cold
too?
too, yeah.
How do you bite
Even-
into them?
With
They're-
your teeth?
Okay, wait a minute. Let's face it.
They're
over
not
time,
that frozen.
Really?
and over time, they've gotten a little bit smaller.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a
Now it's a
one-bite
wafer.
cookie now.
Everything's gotten smaller. Haven't you noticed that? I mean, price
Not the
went
price.
up, and
Yeah.
all
Everything
the
just-
quantities gone smaller.
Yeah.
The good
Consumer
news
goods.
is we probably should eat less anyway. So
Yeah.
Right.
That's, I think that we made it.
We did. But how do people get hold of you, Lizette?
That's a good question. No, you can reach me at my email, lisettezsosa@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Facebook, but you might want to be patient on that time for me to respond. Or you can just ring my phone. Is that okay to give that one?
Yeah.
702-493-0489. That's 702-493-0489.
And then coming soon, your YouTube page, right?
YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, as soon as Beta gets on that, yes, there will be a YouTube
There you go,
and a
Beta.
something else and a something else.
I'll just plug it one more time. We do have the video marketing boot camp starting Monday the 7th if you are interested.
And we saved you a seat on the front row.
We
Got it.
absolutely
Okay.
did.
So
No, we-
everybody will know where I'll be at boot
Monday.
camp.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And congratulations on all your success. Hopefully
Absolutely.
you get to wear that purple dress again. Of course, you probably just get a new one, right?
Yes,
Well, you
that's
can't
you
wear
can't
a one-time
wear a
thing.
dress.
I don't
Yes,
know.
braid
I mean,
it.
yes, I mean, you can wear it again, but you
I don't
can't
wear
wear it to the same
dresses.
event.
Beta, did you know that? Dresses are only good for one use?
Yes,
We learn something new
Well,
every day.
you can't use the same dress for
For
the same
thank you.
awards. So, like, yes, you can use it again, but you will not see
Well, the
me wearing
good
it to
news
an
is
award.
you can't win the Rookie of the Year again. So
that is true.
Right.
That is
So,
true.
well, we'll see what
Different
else I have to
event,
win
though. Maybe
next
we'll
You
year.
wear it
switch.
for top producer.
Right, okay.
Get your own get a new one for top producer, right?
Absolutely.
Next quarter.
So, very good.
Thank you guys so very much for having me.
No,
This
thank
has
you
been
so
a
much
delight.
for coming on, and congratulations again. So that was our show, right? Make sure you like and subscribe, and smash that notification button for the next episode, and we'll see you next week. That's a wrap. Bye.